Good morning, happy Friday. So I'm actually kind of frustrated this morning. So I was supposed to be getting these lab tests done, a whole bunch of blood work, and I had scheduled with a company that does in-home blood draws, which is super convenient. They come to your house, they'll come really early in the morning. And since I have to do a fasting blood draw for these tests, it's so much easier to have somebody come to me first thing in the morning. Otherwise I have to wait several hours and go to another lab location where it's really hard to get a morning appointment, etc. So I have used this company before and everything has gone well in terms of scheduling, and they just show up right on time, and it takes a few minutes for them to do the blood draw, and they send in all your lab tests just like you would at another lab. But it's been a little bit difficult this time around. I had sent in my lab order when I scheduled my blood draw appointment so that they would have all the information they needed. And then when that first appointment came up, which was like over a week ago now, at the last second the night before, they sent me something saying that my lab order was incomplete or they were like missing information. But by then it was too late for me to do anything about it before my appointment the next morning. So they rescheduled my appointment. That wasn't that big of a deal. I get it. Like, that stuff happens. So I figured out what they needed, got them the corrected paperwork, sent that in, had a rescheduled test, and even like double checked that they didn't need anything else, like to make sure they had the original lab order and everything. Then again, the night before I was supposed to have my blood draw appointment the next morning, I just got a notification that my appointment had been canceled, and there was no reason why or anything. And by then it was late in the evening, so it was like too late to contact anybody or figure out what's going on. So that was kind of annoying. So then the next morning I contacted them again and was like, why was my appointment canceled? They're like, how am I supposed to fix this if you don't tell me why this is happening at the very last second? And they said, oh, your paperwork is incomplete, or like some really vague response. And that was it. So then again, I was like, well, I had sent in what you guys said you needed before, and I double checked and asked again that you didn't need anything else. Seemed like my appointment was all good to go, and then it just was canceled at the very last second with no explanation. And now my only explanation is that the paperwork is incomplete, which doesn't help me fix the problem. So now I'm rescheduling again, and it turns out I was right. They had all the information they needed. I think it hadn't all been like put together in my file or something like that. Which again, I understand, like, there's probably a lot of moving pieces here and like a lot of different people that are doing these things, but it just doesn't seem like it needs to be this difficult. So anyway, now my blood draw is scheduled for Monday morning, because by the time that we got this all figured out yesterday, it was too late to schedule for today. Again, it's not that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world. I'm not in a huge hurry to get these blood tests done, and it's not critical. It just has taken a lot more time and energy than I was expecting to get this appointment scheduled. But anyway, it's Friday morning, getting ready to get outside, get my morning sunlight, even though it is very gray and overcast today. Still gonna get out there, go get a workout in, and then I actually have to go over to IKEA this morning. My worst nightmare, but actually shouldn't be that bad because I'm just picking up something, so I don't think I have to actually like go into the whole store. And then I do actually have one test kit. I have 3 test kits that are being sent to my house from my doctor that I will be doing at home and sending in myself. I have one of them that arrived earlier this week that at the very least go through that one, maybe get started on that or get that sent in. So I can hopefully get one of these lab tests done sooner than later. I'm not sure I'll actually be able to complete the test and send it in today, but I can prep for it. Yeah, that's the plan for this morning. I'm gonna get out and get my usual morning sunlight, get a workout in. I have a little bit of work to get done this morning, and then go to IKEA and hopefully get this at-home lab test done. I'm just heading out to get my morning sunlight, even though, like I said, it's a very cloudy, overcast day, just to demonstrate how much brighter it is outside and how much sunlight there actually is, even on a really cloudy day. There are apps you can download that will tell you how bright the light is. Like, you hold up your phone and it'll tell you the brightness of the light. I'll show you what it is inside with just like a really bright overhead light, and then we'll see what it is outside when you're in natural sunlight, but on a very overcast day. Okay, so you can see if I have this directly looking up at my overhead lights, it's like 200 lux. Now, if we were to go outside on a really bright sunny day, it would be like maybe 100,000. Like, it would be super, super high. That would be like a clear, bright sunny day. We'll go see what it looks like today, where it seems like it's really dark out, or you would expect it to be not that sunny or not getting that much sunlight, but it'll be a lot more than what we are getting here inside. This is going to be my little pre-workout snack. So I have a golden kiwi and a beef stick. Maybe a little weird, but getting some protein and some carbs in before my workout won't be too much in my stomach. I like to eat something before I go work out, but I definitely don't want to have like a lot in my stomach right before. So it'll give me some good nutrients to get me through my workout, and then I'll have a little more substantial meal afterwards. Before I head to IKEA, I do have a little bit of computer work I want to get done. And since I'm still a little sweaty from my workout this morning, I'm gonna go get some steps in on the treadmill while I get that done. And then we'll head over to IKEA. I'm actually just getting a little table for my balcony. I have a big deck that's kind of built out over the rooftop on one side of my condo, which is really awesome. The original owner built that out because this unit does have like rooftop area out there. And I do have a table out there, but especially in the summer, like it's very open out there. I've had a patio umbrella out there before, but unfortunately wasps like make a nest up in it if I leave it out there, so that's kind of not cool. And also, as much as I love my neighbors, like I don't always like sitting out there and sort of feeling like I'm right next to my neighbors. Anyway, I have this little balcony on the east side that is covered and it just feels a little more private, but the table and chairs that I used to have out there were really uncomfortable. They're super heavy metal and just sort of hard to clean, hard to move around, and like I said, not very comfortable. So I've been meaning to find like just something lightweight that I can put out there, so if I want to go like sit out there and read or do some work or something like that, that I don't have like this big clunky metal table out there. So that is what I'm going to pick up at IKEA this morning. But like I said, first gonna go get some steps in on the treadmill, set up my little treadmill desk situation, and then we'll make the trip out to IKEA. Tables in the car. That was super easy to pick up. Didn't have to go in the store, which is the best part. I gotta get home and set it up. Good morning. It's about 9:15 on Saturday, and I'm just heading over to the gym to train a client, and then I'm gonna go from there to the farmer's market. Happy Saturday. I got a few packages this weekend that are supplements I have restocked, and these are ones that I don't think I've really talked about before. I probably have mentioned one or two of them at some point in the past, but just wanted to share what these ones were. They're like the ones that I have on subscription auto ship, so I'm always stocked up on them. They're things that I use every day, and they're sort of more like general than the other supplements I'm taking. They're not like necessarily something I'm taking for a very specific reason, but more for overall health. So just gonna quickly run through what these couple of supplements are, why I keep them on hand all the time. So So the first one is an amino acid supplement. I've been using the ones from Kion, and this is something that I put into my hydration drink every single morning. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So an amino powder or an amino acid supplement is basically like broken down protein that's really, really easily absorbed and can be especially helpful for like pre or post workout to help with muscle repair, muscle building, and recovery. I think it's also nice, like either if you struggle to get enough protein every day, or if you know that you're not necessarily absorbing nutrients or protein particularly well, if you have any kind of gut issues where it might be a little bit harder for you to digest protein. This can be a really good way to kind of fill in those gaps or just make sure that you're getting very easy to digest protein for your post workout. That's why I like to take mine first thing in the morning. Gets me a little bit of protein before I do any kind of exercise. It's not going to give you like a ton of protein. It's not something I would rely on as like a huge protein source, but especially for me pre-workout, like I don't really want to eat a lot. That just doesn't feel great to me, but I know this is a way that I am getting a little bit of protein in before a workout. It's going to help me throughout my workout. It's going to help me recover afterwards. So I think a high quality amino acid supplement can be really useful for most people, but maybe especially if you are doing any kind of strength training or if you have trouble getting enough protein in your day. I've been taking these for many years now, and like I said, I've been doing the Kion brand. I've also done one from Perfect Aminos. That's another company that makes a really good quality amino acid supplement, and I really like that one too, so I kind of rotate back and forth between those two. This next one is a fiber supplement. I get this one from Thorne. It's called Fiber Mend. It's basically like a prebiotic fiber supplement. Fiber is another thing that most people are not getting enough of just from their daily intake. It can be very hard to get enough fiber that way. For me particularly, knowing that I'm working on detoxification and really trying to like make sure my body is able to bind to any toxins and eliminate them, fiber is going to be especially important. This is just something that I add into my smoothie every day or any kind of drink. It mixes in pretty easily. It's going to help me to hit that fiber intake every day. And it's also going to help with, like, since I'm doing things like sauna and other detox support, any kind of toxins that are being pulled out of my system, it's then going to help bind to that and get it out of my body, which we want. So this is another one that I've been taking for quite a while, and I do pretty much every day. If you are new to taking a fiber supplement, you definitely want to work your way up to it. You don't want to just like add in a whole bunch of fiber out of nowhere. That could be a lot for your body to handle. And obviously with any of these things, you'd want to check with your own doctor or make sure that it's appropriate for you before trying any new supplements or whatever. But I think generally, because most people are not getting enough fiber, that some kind of fiber supplement can be really useful too. Speaking of detoxification support, this is another one. This one I think I've talked about before. This is a citrus pectin supplement. This is something that can help with like really gentle detoxification of heavy metals. So this one might be a little more specific to me and my situation, given that I have very high levels of heavy metals and it's hard for me to detoxify them. It's hard to find ways that effectively do that without being kind of stressful on my system. And this is something that I can take every day and can very gently, very slowly, but also very gently help me get rid of some of those heavy metals without bad side effects or being difficult for my body to handle. So this is something that I added in a little more recently, but same thing, I'll add it to my hydration drink every morning. It's not necessarily something where I'm gonna like notice a huge difference in my day-to-day life, but since it can help with the detoxification of heavy metals over time, kind of playing the long game here with this one and just trying to find any way that I can support my detoxification systems, because that's something that I've always struggled with, and this is just a really simple, easy way to get that support without really any downside. And the last one is not really a supplement, but I guess you could kind of consider it a supplement. This is actually a matcha powder. So a matcha green tea powder. I use this one from Peak. I really like matcha. I like green tea. I can't remember where or when I started using this. Must have heard about it somewhere, but I know matcha was kind of like trendy for a while there, and maybe still kind of is, but it's also very, very high in antioxidants, and it's sort of a nice way to get some caffeine or get like the effects of caffeine, again, without the negative side effects that caffeine can have for some people, because green tea also has L-theanine in it, which is more calming. So even though you have caffeine in the green tea, it doesn't really give you that like jittery effect. It also has less caffeine overall than like a cup of coffee would. So I like that I can get a little bit of that boost, like the boost of energy and sort of brain power that you can get from caffeine, but without feeling like I'm overstimulated or kind of anxious. And because it is super high in antioxidants, I know it's also providing a benefit to me. The reason that I chose this particular brand brand is because they triple screen their products for heavy metals and mold. So I know that I'm getting a really, really good quality. Definitely don't want to be like taking something in every day that could potentially have more heavy metals. It's the last thing I need. So for things like tea, or especially like powder where you're actually drinking in the whole leaf or the whole powder, I want to be really careful about where I'm sourcing that kind of thing. So I really like this brand. It's really good quality. It tastes really good. I get that nice caffeine boost. I get the high antioxidant content. So this is another thing that I pretty much drink every day. I'll usually have it kind of like midday as a little pick-me-up, but again, it's not gonna like make me feel wired. It doesn't affect my sleep. I'm tracking my sleep. I know that I'm drinking it early enough in the day that it is not affecting my ability to fall asleep or my sleep quality. But yeah, not necessarily a supplement, but kind of has some of the same effects or qualities as a supplement. And another thing that I use pretty much every day. I just realized that all of these are things that I mix into drinks. So I guess this is maybe like my drinkable supplement haul. Okay, this was the morning I had my at-home blood draw, and I had a whole introduction that I filmed for this where there was no sound that recorded, hence the voiceover here. But this was a super convenient way to get my blood work done early in the morning. She was in and out in just a few minutes and said I should have results within 3 to 5 days. And once the blood work was completed, I was ready to get outside for a little bit of morning sunlight as usual, and then head down to the gym to get a little bit of movement. I am now just about to go into a therapy appointment. And I've talked at least once before in another video about going to therapy and how helpful I found it. I think I started going to see my therapist in like 2013, and I was really lucky that the first person that I tried, I really connected with and I really liked her, and I've been seeing her ever since then. And I really started going to see her right around the time when my health symptoms were getting worse and I was starting to really explore what was going on. The whole process was just kind of at the beginning, and I felt really confused and lost, and I felt so bad physically. I was so tired and so brain foggy and everything. It just was really hard to kind of navigate all of that. And so it's been really helpful to have somebody that now knows me so well over so many years and throughout this whole health journey, and she knows so much about like what I've been doing, and obviously over those years I've gone through a lot of other like life transitions as well, not just the health stuff. But I see her usually like every 3 to 4 weeks or so, sometimes more, sometimes less, just sort of depending on what's going on. Oftentimes I will come into a therapy session or like be going into one kind of thinking like, oh, I don't know if I really need this, like there's something that's really on my mind or that I'm feeling like I need help with right at the moment. But inevitably even when I go in on those days, sometimes that's when like the best stuff comes up, because we just kind of like start talking and somehow we end up going down a path that maybe I never would have really thought about or brought up in the first place, and it ends up being super helpful, or like things can just come up that I wouldn't expect. Anyway, all that to say that even if you feel like you don't necessarily quote unquote need a therapist, or that like there's no big issue you're trying to work on or in your life or something like that, I just think therapy can be so helpful for like just navigating everyday life, regardless of whether you have something that is like bigger going on or that feels really hard. I really wish that everybody had access to a good therapist, because I do think it can be such a good tool to like bring self-awareness and learn about yourself and how to, like I said, just kind of how to navigate the ups and downs of everyday life. So I actually like look forward to my therapy sessions, whether I have something that I want to bring up and discuss with her, or whether I'm just sort of going in to see what comes up. Okay, well, I just finished my therapy session, and case in point, I went in there kind of thinking like, oh, maybe we'll talk about this or talk about that. And next thing I know, we ended up having like one of the more intense conversations I've probably ever had in therapy before. So I guess that's just my little push for anybody that hasn't ever done therapy, or maybe you've tried it before but just didn't have a great experience or haven't found a person that really you connect with. If you can get access to therapy, even if you feel like you might not necessarily need it, I think we all need it, and you might be surprised by how helpful it is. Okay, I'm finally going to go through this test kit because I have not actually done it yet. And this whole time I was thinking that this was one of 3 test kits that I was being sent. And I realize now that actually all of the tests are in this one kit, which is nice, makes it easier to go through it, get it done, get it sent back in, and not have like 3 separate whole kits I have to go through. I've never done ones through this company before, so I'm used to getting like each one has a separate box or kit that it comes in. So anyway, there are actually 2 like sample collection packets kits or packages kind of in here for the 3 different tests. So 2 of them I think basically are coming from one sample that I'll send in, and then the 3rd test is from a separate one. And I'm always very careful when I'm going through these and like really reading the instructions, reading the shipping protocol, all of that, because sometimes they can be very, very specific about how you collect the sample, like what you need to do beforehand. Sometimes there'll be like a whole week of like avoid these certain foods, or maybe it's a couple days before you need to not take certain supplements that could skew your test results. Before you send it in, sometimes you might have to like refrigerate or freeze a sample if you can't send it in right away. Sometimes you have to send them in only on a like Monday or Tuesday so that they can get there before the end of the week, etc. So I just like to make sure that I go through it a couple of times, kind of map out anything I need to do beforehand, because the last thing I want to do is mess up the sample and have it not be valid and have to redo it. So in this box, you can see we have 2 little different thingies here. There's like a whole little packet of stuff inside. There's actually, with this one also has a QR code I'm supposed to scan to activate and get all the instructions. So we'll see what this is going to entail. Why isn't this working? I'm entering the barcode and it's saying it's invalid. Yeah, now it's working. Okay. That was weird. They have like videos on here for how to do everything. Okay, so like for this one it says mail immediately via FedEx. Holding collected samples more than 12 hours may result in rejection. Yikes. This is where like you have to have this set up ahead of time. Luckily they do give you like a prepaid label, so all you have to do is set up FedEx pickup for whenever it's going to be ready, and then you don't have to like take it anywhere. But if I were to have done my collection and then not have that set up yet, I might end up with a sample that they can't use. So glad I checked this ahead of time. Trying to watch a video that is not loading. Well, in any case, sorry, camera battery just died. But what I was gonna say was that this all looks very straightforward, very simple collection instructions, and then just have to send it in as fast as possible afterwards. So I hopefully should be able to get to this week. It doesn't look like I have to do any kind of prep for it in terms of stopping any supplements or foods or whatever. So that makes it easier. And once that gets sent in, I think it probably will take maybe 1 to 2 weeks after they receive the test kits to get results back. Sometimes it can take a little bit longer, but hopefully I'll be able to get those out later this week, and then I'll have those results coming as well as the blood work that I did this morning. That should be coming in probably by the end of this week. And then once I have all of those results back, I will schedule another appointment with my doctor to go over everything. It's Tuesday morning, it's a little after 6:30. I just got back from my morning sunlight walk, although it is very cloudy out again. I've been waiting for it to be like a bright sunny morning so I could show on the app how much brighter the sun is, like on a cloudy day versus a bright sunny day versus indoors, but it's been very overcast most of the mornings lately. So we'll see if we get another sunny morning one of these days and I can show you that comparison, because it's sort of crazy how powerful that morning sunlight is. Anyway, got outside for a few minutes, get ready to head down to the gym and do my workout this morning, and then I have an IV appointment a little later this morning. I'm hoping that today I can get to those test kits and either get them completed and sent off today, or at least set it up so that I can do them tomorrow and send them off. I do want to just triple check with my doctor that there's not anything I should avoid, like supplement or medications beforehand. There weren't any instructions saying that in these test kits, but in ones that I've done previously, sometimes she will want me to like maybe skip my thyroid medication or certain supplements that could sort of skew the test result. So when I go into the clinic today for my IV, I'm hoping I can just ask her either when I'm there, shoot her a message today, and just really make sure that no further instructions on these tests. I can just get them done and send them in. But first, going to get hydrated and get down to the gym for my workout this morning. One of the things I include in my hydration drink that I have every morning is collagen. So in here I have collagen, creatine, electrolytes, amino acids, and then also the citrus pectin that I mentioned the other day, which I take as a form of really gentle detoxification support. So all that is mixed in here. I also add some coconut water, which is added electrolytes. But collagen is better absorbed with vitamin C. So I always take my vitamin C supplement with my morning hydration drink to make sure that I'm getting the benefits of that collagen and absorbing it well. There are some collagen supplements now that I think add vitamin C into them, and you're getting that benefit just in the collagen supplement itself. But the one that I have doesn't have added vitamin C, and I already take a vitamin C. So I just make sure I take it with my hydration drink every morning to make sure that I'm getting full benefits. workout program last week. So for the first few months after my surgery, I just was kind of picking up my own workouts when I got to the gym and really just trying to do what I could or what felt okay that day, because I still was in recovery mode and I was trying to kind of come back from several weeks off. But now that I'm further along and I kind of got sick of just making up random workouts and wanted to follow a more structured program, so I'm trying out a new one that I haven't done before. I still do my usual 4-day-a-week split, so 2 upper body workouts and 2 lower body workouts, and that's what this particular program does as well. And I definitely still have to make some modifications, whether that's for number of sets and reps or just intensity level to match how I'm feeling that day or my energy levels or recovery status. But it's always nice to have like a written out program that when I get to the gym, I just already know what I'm going to be doing. It's progressing every week over a few months. Just kind of take the mental piece out of it so that I am walking into the gym and just getting to work and not having to motivate myself to come up with a workout for that day and then get through it as well. And I do really think that like having something that you are following some kind of structure, whether that's working with a trainer or buying some kind of templated program, maybe even just following a free program online or a workout video, but having that already set up for you or something that you're following where you don't have to think about it or come up with your own workout, that can definitely make it easier to get in the gym, get some movement, just removing one extra barrier to getting that done. Later in the day, and I did chat with my doctor this morning when I was at the clinic for my IV and got confirmation that I don't have to do anything special for these tests, just send off the test samples. I don't have to like stop any medications or supplements beforehand. So I think I'm gonna do that on Thursday, because tomorrow I realize I have a couple of things going on tomorrow that's gonna make it a little bit harder to get that done and make sure that I get it shipped off. So that's my plan, to get those done on Thursday. Thursday is also my 3-month post-op mark. 3 months since my cosmetic surgery. I do have to send in updated photos to the clinic, as well as like a 3-month video update. So I'm supposed to make a little video just about like how it's going so far, what the recovery has been like, how my experience was at the clinic and that first week post-op and everything. So I also need to sort of plan out what I want to say in that little video that I will be sending them. They may or may not use that for their social media. I'm not totally sure, but in any case, I do have to get that off on Thursday as well. And then next week, I'm actually going to be going back to Virginia to visit Freddie again. So I'm looking forward to that. Glad I will be getting all of these tests done before I'm heading out of town. And then we'll see also if I get any of that blood work back either by the end of this week or before I leave next Tuesday. I won't obviously be talking to my doctor about those yet, but I think I will be getting access to those results pretty soon. And at the very least, we'll be curious to see what that looks like. And then we'll just have to wait a couple more weeks to get the other test kits back. So that's what's coming up for the rest of this week. And next week, heading out of town, we'll take you along with me when I go to see Freddie again, and we'll give any updates I have on any of these test results as I get them back. Thank you very much, as always, for watching, and I will see you soon.